Hello, everybody. It is Sunday, February 18th, 2024. Welcome to episode 77 of the Old Mage MTG podcast. Today, we've got a very special episode for you. We've got a single topic pod for you today, and we're focusing on a new product. Why are we talking about only one topic today? Well, it's because we were going to discuss this last episode, but we got tired. That's what happens to old mages. It's right there in the title of the show, the Old Mage MTG podcast. Sometimes we're going to be in the middle of a show. We're just going to run out of energy. We're going to have to take a nap.
We
We're
have
going
to
to
go
have to
back
get
and
back to it
rest,
later.
study the spell book,
I
prepare
couldn't
again.
stop talking. I mean, we were gonna fit this in last episode, but I just had too much to say about running Woolly Spider in a Pyroclasm rich meta back in 1996, and we just ran out of time. We ran out of energy. So, what is the single topic we're going to be talking about today? It is the 2024 Winter Superdrop. I'm going to pull this up right here on Magic the Gathering Secret Lair website. And we are late. We are late to this. It is a limited stock. Some of the products are already sold out, but that's okay. We're late to all of the topics here on the Old Mage MTG podcast. That's kind of the whole theme of the show. That we're sitting down to talk about things that happened like 20 years ago. In this case, we're way better. We're way more timely than we typically are. We're 2 weeks late instead of 20 to 25 years late.
Not bad.
The sale was going on for 30 days. It's 30 days or until products are sold out. As of today, you still have 14 days, 11 hours, 17 minutes, and 17 seconds, 16 seconds, 15 seconds left, etc., etc. So this is what we're here to talk about. The 2024 Winter Superdrop. It is the depths of winter. A new Superdrop has arrived. Word on the street that these secret layers are ones to pick up if you love the art treatment, not necessarily for the value. There's not a lot of pricey cards in the Superdrop.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes that happens. Sometimes they'll reprint a card that's kind of up there in price, and people will look at the Superdrops as a way of potentially getting a cheaper variant of a card they just want to play. A lot of times, though, you really buy the Superdrops for the art. This particular Superdrop has 6 different secret layers for your consideration. Most of them are still available, it looks like.
Is there some? Sorry, I was going to ask. Is there like something that makes a super drop like
super?
other than the fact that they're just putting a bunch of stuff out all at once? Is there like anything else beyond that?
Don't think so. I think it's
About
just
it?
super because it's a bunch of stuff all
You
released at
get?
once.
Can you order like all of them together and get like a price break? Does that happen or?
You could have, but you can't any longer. There's an everything on the menu bundle that was
Oh,
available for $299.99. If you bought
no
everything
longer available.
individually, it was $409.99.
Okay, you answered my question then.
88 cents. So yeah, that's what's out for the most part, the bundles. The only individual drop that's out are the Beauty of the Beasts non-foil and foil editions. Everything
Oh,
else is everything else, all the individual layers are still available. I'm going to start with the first one. Deceptive Divination. It's not really the first one. It's the first one I'm going to start with.
it looked like the last one on the list.
Deceptive Divination drop contains 5 spells illustrated by artist Alexander Kabazi. He looks like an interesting graphic artist. I'm going to pull up his Instagram right here. Most of these people who are illustrating the super drops can be found on Instagram. Alex Kabazi is kbar.design on Instagram. Very graphical. Sparse use of color, but bold use of color. He looks like this looks like a guy who would make a lot of great posters, rock posters, full page advertisements, and magazines. And now he's making
skateboarders and cyclists.
Now he's making Magic the Gathering cards. Let's look at the cards themselves.
These look like tarot cards, kind of? Or
Yeah, they
something
do. They do have that look to them. 5 cards. Wall of Omens, not Wall of Otters.
I
It
thought it
looks.
said Wall of Honors.
You're not the
Not really,
only.
but like I looked at it and my brain did that for a second. I was like, what?
You're not the only person, Alex. Circular logic. Scheming Symmetry, Price of Progress, and Eternal Witness. Just first glance at these cards, I don't love them, but only because this is me personally. I don't know how other people feel about this, but they don't have a clear color identity.
Yeah, that's what's missing, I think. It doesn't I need some kind of hint about like what the card is, especially because I'm not really familiar with these cards. I think
Yeah.
Price of Progress I kind of know, but uh yeah, I need like a hint about them, like what they do, or like remind me what the card is with the color or the artwork.
It makes it difficult. So if Wizards wanted to go this direction, I would say pick 5 white spells. That would be cool. I will also say that this artist is not afraid of color. Look at his images. He's not afraid to use color. Uh, just throw in a splash of red in a red card, a splash of blue in a blue card. It would make these much better as Magic the Gathering cards. So that's one problem I have with this particular layer. There are a couple of pre-modern playables in this, but they're already cheap, you know. So if you wanted to pick up the pre-modern playables, which are Circular Logic and Price of Progress, it's not hard to pick up the originals. But these are good ones to pick up if you want to confuse your opponent about what color deck you're playing. They'll have no idea when you throw these out.
We need some lands that look colorless and ambiguous as well.
One thing I want to highlight, this is the first ever appearance of a sorcery speed counterspell, Alex. Circular Logic is a
Really?
counterspell. Sorcery. Circular Logic, sorcery. 2 colorless, 1 blue, target counterspell unless its controller pays 1 colorless for each card in your graveyard. Madness, 1 blue.
Okay, so you can pay it for its madness cost at faster than sorcery speed.
Why is this card a sorcery? Because they fucked it up, Alex. Circular Logic is an instant like all counter spells.
Oh,
You're not aware of this. They screwed it up.
no, I did not know.
They screwed it up when they printed this.
I was trying to figure out how the card worked. I was like, well, okay, so with madness, it doesn't matter that it's a sorcery. Okay, then
So here's the original Circular Logic. I'll pull this up real quick.
I'm trying to remember this card.
Yeah, it's a card we never played with.
I know the name.
But it is a pre-modern legal card and a card that sees quite a bit of play in
Torment.
pre-modern. All the way in Torment, 2 colors, 1 blue, instant counter target spell unless its controller pays 1 colorless for each card in your graveyard. Madness, 1 blue. They stuffed it up, so I guess the one upside to that is you can purchase this secret layer for $5 less than the cost of all the other secret layers. Because they screwed up the card, they're essentially not charging you for Circular Logic.
Seriously.
Yeah, so Deceptive Divination is available for $24.99 instead of the original intended price of $29.99. I'm surprised this one hadn't sold out yet because I would have expected people to snag it simply because of the misprint, because it might become something that
I was
people
gonna
are
say
interested
like
later.
the way people, go crazy over misprints and stuff, and I know this isn't quite exactly the same thing as like a printing error, or a miscut or something. It's like further up the chain than that, mistake-wise, but the way people collect some of that stuff, and considering that this is like a one-time thing, you would think that people would be jumping all over that.
I would have thought too. Maybe the one question people have in their minds is, yes, these are limited stock, but how limited are they?
Yeah.
We don't.
But that hasn't stopped people from buying a lot of stuff.
That is true.
Plus, there's Wall of Otters, so I mean,
Plus, it has
kind of
Wall of
two
Otters.
misprints.
If you need that for your Otter deck, actually, if you want to build an Otter
Definitely.
deck, you need an Otter Wall.
Yeah.
But that's the Deceptive Divination drop. Lots of interesting things going on here.
Interesting.
I would have loved just a splash of color.
Hmm.
I was disappointed. I was like, why did they do this? When I went to the guy's Instagram, I was like, he loves color. Yes, he works in a limited color palette. There's a lot of black and white, but come on, look at all the color. You just scroll through his Instagram. The man is not afraid of color. Put color on the Magic card. Also, when you look at the palette he works with, white, black, blue, red, green. He naturally works in the Magic the Gathering color scheme.
Yeah.
It's all right here already. There's no yellow. Sometimes he uses yellow.
There's one that's a multicolored card.
But his yellow is almost goldish, so you could put this on
Yeah,
Legends.
yeah.
Come on. What are we doing here, people? Come on. Okay, that's drop number 1. Secret Lair number 1. Deceptive Divination. Wall of Otters, Circular Logic at Sorcery Speed. Scheming Symmetry, Price of Progress, and Eternal Witness. Second one I wanted to talk about is actually the one individual layer that had sold out already. Probably because of the pretty sick art on it. Probably because it's pretty sick creature art. People love creatures. People love beasts. People love dragons. This has dragons in it. It's the Beauty of the Beasts. Secret Lair illustrated by Rowan Ellis. It is Beauty of the Beast, but they're not all beast creature types. They're different types of creatures. Very cool art.
I like these.
Rowan Ellis has an Instagram featuring a lot of their work. I mean, it's classic. It's classic. It's a style that's perfect for Magic the Gathering. A lot
Oh
of
yeah,
detailed line work. She specializes in mythical creatures. You got your dead demon deers.
that's
You got
fantastic.
you got your skulls. You got your dragons. That's a sick pin. I'm not a pin guy, but that's a sick fucking pin. If I was
That is
gonna get
pretty
a
cool.
pin, this would be
Yeah,
on my list of pins to get. You know, look at
yeah,
that
that's
fucking
cool.
pineapple toad pin. I love toads. I love pineapples. I love when you combine toads and pineapples. You don't see it done very often, but she did it here, and I like it. I'm here for that pin. Anyways, very cool art. Very cool artist. You can see why the card's sold out already. Cards here I don't recognize. Uh, Felidar Guardian, which is a cat beast. Peregrine Drake. Here we are. Here we're getting into a pre-modern playable. Peregrine Drake was originally from Urza's Saga. It's not a bad card, but it's not a pre-modern card that I was necessarily like chomping at the bit to have a reprint of. I don't know that it got a lot of play ever. It's 4 colors, 1 blue, 2/3 flying. When Peregrine Drake enters the battlefield, untap up to 5 lands. So there were a bunch of cards in Urza's that had this type of mechanic that you played them for some mana cost. And then once they hit the battlefield, you were able to untap that many
Mhm.
lands. So once you build up enough mana on the board to play them, they were essentially free to play that turn. Essentially.
I've been wanting to try this card out. There are a couple blue flying creatures that are all like drakes or something like that that have like enter the battlefield effects.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I've been looking at all of them.
There's one thing I looked up Peregrine Drake on Gatherer, and I'm just gonna pull it up at MTG Stocks real quick just to show you the art. It's good art. It's Magic the Gathering art, typical Magic. It's okay. Peregrine Drake, not something that would stick in my head ever or stand out compared to other Magic the Gathering art. But on Gather, I saw this comment. It blew my mind. I could not believe my eyes when I read this comment left by Shady Tradesman on the 26th of October, 2009 at 12:31, 46 seconds in the AM. So he was up late. Maybe he was drinking a lot. He is a shady tradesman. Might be an alcoholic. I don't want to cast aspersions. I shouldn't be saying this about tradesmen, but he's not just a tradesman. He didn't say like a stand-up tradesman. He said he was a shady tradesman. So I'm going to go out on a limb, say maybe he was drunk when he left this comment late at night. He said, I usually don't like Magic's older art, but this would be an exception. Now, I
What?
don't, I don't, I don't want to be like, oh, this shouldn't be an exception because I don't want to say anything bad about this particular piece of art. I don't look at this art and be like, this is terrible or anything. But the first part of that comment, I usually don't like Magic's older art. This is like the first time I think I've ever heard anybody say that. I typically hear the opposite, even from young people, not just people like your age and my age who grew up with the original art. How
Yeah.
often do you hear people say, I liked it, I didn't like it better back in the day when it was actual like pen to paper or brush to canvas? Come on now.
I mean, some people do feel that way. I think
Come
some people
on.
especially don't like the like um lack of cohesion in style. You know, like sometimes there were styles that are all over the
Okay, I
board, and
have
some
heard
of them
that
look
pointed out.
very you know, in certain types of the art style, the stuff that looked like really like medieval tapestry-esque, you know, I've heard people complain about, but not a lot of people.
And
And I do
definitely
think
not
that,
in general, right? Just
yeah,
I don't like the old art in general. Come on.
yeah, it's weird. I don't know. There's so many classics. How can you not like, you know, I don't know. There's just so many classic things that I'm sure you could find a couple that you like, right? I don't know.
Yeah, get it together, shady tradesman. I don't understand. And
Yep.
it's weird that he would be like, I don't like the art, but this one. Like
This
there's
one, yeah, what's
nothing
so
wrong with this, but there's nothing that stands out about it either.
not at all. No, like it's not like a lot different from old Magic art. It's not like a lot better. It's not, there's nothing. Okay.
No. So
Anyways,
so come on. Come on, shady tradesman. Peregrine, that's Peregrine Drake. Serpent of the Yawning Depths. This one just made me laugh when I first saw this. I had never seen this card before. I don't know what set it's originally from, so let me look that up real quick, actually. Serpent of the Yawning Depths. This was after our time. And yes, we are going back and trying to learn all these cards that were printed when we were out of Magic, but we haven't made it here yet. And of course, I selected the Secret Lair version. We haven't made it to Theros Beyond Death yet. This was printed in Theros Beyond Death. This must be after Theros, which I am slightly familiar with now because when we talked about Minotaurs during Homelands, I learned
oh,
that Theros was like a Greek mythology themed set and there were Minotaurs in Theros. That was the first time, or that, I don't know if it was the first time, but it was one of the times when the price of didgeridoo spiked back in the day. People heard that Theros was coming out and they were like, they're gonna print a bunch of Minotaurs. Let's all
this
buy
is
our
our time.
didgeridoos. Serpent of Yawning Deaths first came out in Theros Beyond Death. It made me laugh because it is 4 colors, 2 blue, 6/6. Krakens, leviathans, octopuses, and serpents you control can't be blocked except by krakens, leviathans, octopuses, and serpents. It's such a weird card.
I like it.
And a mandatory card, I guess, for your leviathan deck. This makes me actually want to build a leviathan slash kraken
Yeah.
deck. You could actually maybe there are so those are notoriously high casting costs when you do see them in Magic, but I'd imagine you could probably work some octopuses and serpents into that deck at lower casting costs. Maybe have a decent mana curve with your Psycho, Kraken,
Yeah.
Leviathan,
Maybe.
Octopus, Serpent deck.
I've never tried to build an octopus or serpent deck, so I couldn't say for sure. I said octopus might be the best chance you have of finding a low casting cost one.
Cephalids
Yeah. But see, that's not an
would,
octopus though,
well, that's why
right?
I'm wondering. I'm
I
gonna
don't think
Google
they
real quick.
count as. And also, why does it say octopi? Shouldn't it be octopi?
I was thinking that as I'm saying octopuses, but I was like, don't say octopi because I'm reading the card and the card does say
Right.
octopuses.
And I'm fine with that. That's fine because it's kind of fun to say octopuses. It's a little bit different.
Is a cephalid not a thing that when I Google it says cephalid is a creature type used for cards that depict anthropomorphic octopus-like creatures.
I don't think all of them are anthropomorphic though. There's like cephalid cards that are like basically just a squid or a cuttlefish or whatever.
Is a cephalid a made-up term in Magic the Gathering?
That's a good question. I've been seeing it for so long now that I don't
I
know.
know. I thought it was like an actual word. Uh,
It might be just
used
maybe
by
just like
biologists for classification. But when I Google cephalid, all that comes up are Magic the Gathering, and it's not present on dictionary.com.
yeah,
So
it's not coming up in the dictionary. So all right,
maybe
there is
octopuses slash octopi are not
cephaloid.
cephalids. Oh, okay. So you're telling me cephaloid is a word, but a cephalid is not? That wouldn't make any sense. Cephaloid's not also not in the dictionary. What are you looking at, Alex? Do you see cephaloid in a dictionary somewhere?
Yeah.
Are you on Merriam-Webster?
The only thing it says for cephaloid is capitate. And I had to look up capitate.
I'll go to
Forming a rounded
oed.com.
head, having an enlarged rounded head or protuberance,
Okay.
which makes sense like cap.
Okay,
So
so
cephaloid just means like round-headed
having a
thing.
rounded head, and in Magic the Gathering, they decided to invent, say, like a race of creature called cephalids, and they're
Yeah.
like, let's make them octopus or squid-like because those things have rounded heads, maybe.
Well, because that like like CEPH
Yeah,
also means head in other content. Like Pachycephalosaurus is the
yeah.
dinosaur with the bony head that headbutted each other.
Yes,
So there we go.
cephaloid is in the OED, cephalistic, cephalitis, cephalization, cephalodiscus, but not cephaloid. No, sorry, not cephalids. Cephalids are a creature type unique to Magic the Gathering. The Serpent of Yawning Depths.
Wait. Here's something else
Okay.
under cephalic of or relating to the head, and then the next
A
entry
dickhead.
directed toward or situated on or near the head, gastropods with cephalic tentacles. So it might have to do with like the root there might be with or dragons with cephalic horns, it says. So
Okay.
because tentacle creatures like that, like a squid or an octopus, their tentacles come out of their head. Maybe that's where they got that and decided to name it.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. We're getting there. Somebody went deep in the dictionary when they came up with
Yeah.
cephaloids.
Yeah.
Cephalic should mean dickhead, based on everything we've just read. Other cards in the layer, Scourge of Valkus. I wanted to take a look at this one because this guy's dragon as fuck. This is 2 colors, 3 red, creature dragon, 4/4 flying. Whenever Scourge of Valkus or another dragon enters the battlefield under your control, it deals X damage to any target where X is the number of dragons you control.
Hmm.
You can pay 1 red. Scourge of Valkus gets +1/+0 until end of turn. So it's not that hard to cast. It's 5 casting costs, 4/4 flying. Has a sick ass dragon
So now
ability.
I want to know what the lowest casting cost dragons are that are available, so you can have many of them out when you cast this.
I actually don't know. I mean, just back in the day, it was like
I
nothing
can't think.
under 4, really, right?
Yeah. But by now there might be some like really low casting costs, like dragon whelp things, like
Dragon Whelp like things that are less than
yeah,
4 casting costs. Yeah, they might have made a strictly better Dragon Whelp.
yeah.
Dragon Whelp is such a cool card. I love that card. And then Voracious Hydra.
I love this art. This art's so cool.
It is very cool art. This is quite the green beat stick also. It's green X, 0/1 trample. Voracious Hydra enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. When Voracious Hydra enters the battlefield, choose 1, double the number of +1/+1 counters on Voracious Hydra, or Voracious Hydra fights target creature you don't control. So, like, this guy could be
Sweet,
fucking
okay.
huge.
So it could be green X times 2,
Yeah.
like counters.
So, pretty cool little layer there with great art by a really talented artist. Not surprised this one's sold out already.
Yeah, that's good. That's a nice little set of cards. I like all of those.
$30. $29.99. No longer available. The next one is Prismatic Nightmares. This one is still available. 5 nightmarish spells with art illustrated by Graham Yarrington. Pull up Graham Yarrington's Insta real quick. Very colorful, very bold,
Oh,
lots
wow.
of pinks, lots of yellows, very graphic. Again, we went from graphic to detailed line work to graphic. We went from purely white colors to pinks to yellows to light blues. There's Graham, there's his dog.
Hmm.
He paints walls. He does shirts. There's an actual brush on paper, it looks like.
Hmm.
Not digital. He paints Jerry Garcia. We've got some pre-modern playables in this layer. So if you want some interesting variants for your pre-modern decks, you can get a very unique copy of Arcane Denial, the counterspell from alliances that we've talked about recently. You can get a very unique Nightscape Familiar, which we've talked about here and there many times on the show in different contexts. I don't remember those contexts, but I know we've talked about Nightscape Familiar. And Alex, you love the familiars. And the familiars were highlighted in a Sam Black article we read at some point about. He just, I shouldn't say highlighted because he mentioned them. It's possible that they're underplayed in the pre-modern format. They give spells of different colors you cast, or they make spells of certain colors you cast, one less colorless to cast. Reign of Filth is also a pre-modern playable, which I was not as familiar with. It's 1 black instant until end of turn. Land you control gain. Sacrifice this land to add 1 black. So it's an instant go out in a blaze of glory kind of ramp spell.
Yeah. Sacrifice your lands to get a bunch of black mana. That's pretty cool art.
And then Simeon Spirit Guide and Prince of Thrall. Simeon Spirit Guide, Alex, I don't know if you've seen this, but this is not a pre-modern playable. It's one of the few new frame cards that I actually know. I was like, when I saw this, I thought this was sick. It's a cheap, it's a red Elvish Spirit Guide, essentially.
Yeah, I got excited just now. I was like, oh, I could be using that, but it's not pre-modern, huh? Dang.
You could use it if you played in a format where this set was legal. I don't think it came that long after the modern card frame was introduced. Planar Chaos. Can't remember exactly what year this was introduced, but it is a Planar Chaos card. 2007, maybe. Was quite expensive at different points. Got up to like $10.
Oh, wow.
But it's been steady going down for what? 7 years? 7, 8 years? Not a very expensive card right now. But that is the Prismatic Nightmares layer. Very unique art. If you need a unique art variant of any of these cards, this is a place to find it. Next layer. Next layer is called Hard-Boiled Thrillers. This is one of those layers where they try to make the Magic cards look like something completely different. More Magic the Gathering cards as pulp detective novels. Why? I don't know, but some people love these. I mean, it's cool. It's great art. I love old pulp. I mean, people love old pulp art.
Mm-hmm.
Old detective novel art. I personally just don't love it as Magic the Gathering cards.
Yeah.
The art is by Josh Newton and Scott Okamura. I don't think Scott has an Instagram, but Josh Okamura did. He's a freelance artist, vintage, fantasy, and sci-fi. And he does a lot of art that looks like it would be great on old detective novels.
Hmm.
They've brought him in for some other stuff too. There's Shelley Duvall. There's that one right there. Look at that, Alex. There's Gandalf. There's Uncle, what's his face? What's this guy? Who is this guy? From the
I'm
Munsters?
blanking now.
It's from the Munsters, right?
Yeah, it's from the Munsters. It's the grandpa from the Munsters.
Grandpa Munster. That's it. Why'd I say Uncle? Not Uncle Munster, Grandpa
Oh,
Munster.
yeah, just Grandpa Munster. Okay.
Do we have any pre-modern playables in this layer? Why, yes, we do. We have Reconnaissance.
Reconnaissance.
That's a sick enchantment. An enchantment that sells for like $10, I think. Reconnaissance going for $10 right now?
Yeah, it might even be a little more, 15, 10 to 15.
$15 right now. So actually, if you just wanted to get a cheap copy of Reconnaissance, this is probably well, I guess I don't know the prices of the other cards. The other cards in the Secret Lair could all be worth like 50 cents or something. So that wouldn't be such a great deal. But
Yeah, I saw
may
it recently going up this past week or two. It was up a little bit.
Reconnaissance, this is a great card in a combat focused deck for all sorts of combat trickery.
I
It's
need to get some of them.
one white enchantment, pay 0 colorless, remove target attacking creature you control from combat and untap it. I'm putting that in my Marton Stromgold deck that I'm messing around with at the moment. I got a pink weenie deck coming at you, Alex. A little pink weenie coming straight at your face with running Marton Stromgold, Reconnaissance, and some other creatures to be determined. There's legendary Planewalker Jace. He is not pre-modern playable, but you know what else is? Black Market. The enchantment Black Market. 3 colors, 2 black. Whenever a creature dies, put a charge counter on Black Market. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, add black for each charge counter on Black Market! Exclamation point.
Exclamation point.
The original definitely doesn't have the exclamation. When was the original Black Market first
Looking that up.
printed?
Arcadian Masks.
Arcadian Masks.
I didn't remember the art from this at all.
It's about $7.60 in its current rendering. Or sorry, its original rendering. I just burped into the mic. Excuse me for that. If anybody heard that, you hear that, Alex?
No. But now you've drawn attention to it.
I know. This is actually a pretty cool. I was just like, I don't want my magic cards to look like old pulp novels, pulp detective novels. That is pretty cool though. I do like this one.
Really?
I think
I'm
I
very
do.
into
Yeah.
it. I don't know. It doesn't do it for me.
I don't know. Maybe just in comparison to the original. When I go back and forth, I don't know. There's
Yeah,
something
the
about.
original is nothing special. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's Black Market. What else is in this super drop? Dire Undercurrents, an enchantment I'm not familiar with. Obeka Brute Chronologist. Not familiar with that card either, but I do love a good Brute Chronologist. I mean, I love this card just because it's a Brute Chronologist. I don't think there's another Brute Chronologist in Magic the Gathering, at least none that I'm aware of.
Legendary Ogre Wizard.
This is, I mean, if you want an Ogre Wizard that is capable of arranging their events in order of occurrence and time, then a Becca Brute Chronologist is your card of choice.
Well put.
Okay. Thank you. I was proud of that. I'm going to the show notes for some reason. Okay. Next layer. One that I'm less excited about, but just because these are variants of a purely recent set. They're all reprints of 4 legendary creatures from the Murders at Karlov Manor set, and I just haven't gotten into that set at all. I don't know anything about it, haven't gotten into it. I don't know if this is true, but it sounds to me like from what I hear on Twitter from players and from people who own shops, it doesn't seem to be selling very well. I don't know that people are very interested in it.
Doesn't seem to be. No, but I'm not paying too much attention. So.
Yeah. So this is these are reprints of cards that I'm not particularly excited about because I haven't engaged with the set at all yet. But also they're all 4 different artists. So I like the Secret Layers where it's like they bring in one artist to do work on,
Yeah.
5 different cards, really show off their style. These are all 4 different artists. And there's nothing particularly unique about the art. This just looks like modern Magic the Gathering art. And they just put it in a different type of frame.
Like typewriter font for the text.
So it's
Which
very
I don't really like.
It's very underwhelming as a Secret Layer. And yeah, nobody likes this font.
I think the only time I want to see typewriter font like that at all would be if I had some like prototype playtest card thing. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Something that was being like internally tested, and it was done like that. Other than that, I don't want that.
Alex does not want this secret layer. Neither do I. Just nothing. There's just nothing that really stands out about this one. Nothing particularly
I like
unique or eye-catching.
I like the art on Villas there, but yeah, it would look with a better frame. It needs like a
Yeah,
black frame and
yeah. Put that on anything else. Put that on anything else. It looks better.
yeah. Oh well. Sorry.
And now number 6, we have the weirdest treatment of all, in my opinion.
Oh, those the
We got
cereal box.
we have more Magic the Gathering cards as cereal boxes. They've done this before. They're doing it again.
They're
I'm
like
very
the cereal's testing through the roof.
well, I'm very surprised by this. I wouldn't have expected people to love the cereals, but I was watching a Jake and Joel video when this first dropped, the secret layer. They were talking about the secret layer. And looking at the comments on their video, there were a lot of comments from people who were like really excited about these cereal box cards. Who'd
Really?
have thunk it? Who'd have
Yeah.
thunk it? Again, it's nothing negative about the art in this particular case. It's just all about, do I want my Magic the Gathering cards to look like a cereal box? No, not really. But actually, when you look at them, they are pretty fun.
They're kind of fun. I like the
They're
Yargle
fun.
one. That one's pretty cool.
They're fun. Where they really excel is the back of the box, the other side.
Yeah, the back of the box stuff looks kind of neat.
You can, Yargle, you have this little cutout. You can cut out the different parts of Yargle and reassemble them. Karn the Thumbless. You'll be gobbling every bowl. That's cute. Good copy there. You got the maze. Classic back of cereal box games. You got a Yargle maze. You got this game, whatever the hell this game is. Some puzzle. What are the cards? Adrix and Nev.
Is that Krark?
Krark the Thumbless, I'm guessing. Yargle, Glutton of Urborg, and Sakashima of 1,000 Faces. Art from Mike Burns and Scott Okamura. I could not find a Instagram for Scott. I think I might have said that before because he was involved in 2 of these secret layers. But there is an Instagram for Mike Burns art, background designer, late night cartoons, card artist, Magic the Gathering. This late night cartoons made perfect sense because when I was looking at his stuff, I was like, oh, this guy, he should be animating Adult Swim cartoons or something. This is a Magic the Gathering YouTube channel and our podcast too, the Spike Feeders. He must have worked with them.
Oh,
yeah, a Kickstarter for a playmat. So that's pretty cool. But that's Mike Burns. He does cereal boxes, Magic the Gathering cards that look like cereal boxes. He does late night cartoons. That's all I've got. Alex, that's all I've got for the secret layer.
oh, okay.
Those are the 6 layers in the secret layer super drop. They're all available as individual layers right now, except for the Beauty of the Beasts. The bundles are gone. People swooped up them bundles. At least mega bundles. You can buy a mini bundle still. Dark Mysteries bundle, which contains the pulp novels, the secret layer that we were least enthusiastic about, the Karlov Manor reprints, and then this one, Prismatic Nightmares, all bundled together. It seems like a weird bundle.
Yeah, I feel like they were kind of like stretching to come up with like a theme to put some of them together with, but
they're all dark and mysterious.
yeah. I like those prismatic bundles though. Those are pretty cool.
The Prismatic Nightmares.
Or yeah, Prismatic Nightmares.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Reign of Filth is pretty cool, and the Nightscape Familiar.
They're neat looking. I like them. Anyways, that's it, Alex. That's it for the mini episode 77 of the Old Mage MTG podcast, where we talked about no old magic, just new magic, just a product, actually. But it's a product that I like these secret layers. I like these artist-focused secret layers, where they let the artists do their thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll all be back. We'll be back soon, y'all,
Yeah. Regular episode coming up.
for a regular episode. Episode 78, that will be, where we're getting into cold snap. It will still be the dead of winter. There will still be snow outside because there's snow outside now, and we're going to be recording the cold snap part 1 tomorrow. I'll see you all then.
Barring some unforeseen circumstances.
Don't put that you're putting that bad juju out there, Alex. What's going to happen? I mean, I'm going to be afraid to go outside for the rest of the day because I'm going to think something bad's going to happen because you said there might be unforeseen circumstances. Then we might not be able to record on Monday.
No, I meant to melt the snow.
Oh, okay, okay.
You know,
Not that one of us will.
Strange thermal event.
Okay. That sounds scary.
Yeah, also scary. Don't go outside for that.
What was the Don DeLillo book, White Noise? Airborne toxic event. There could be an earthborne thermal event to melt all the snow. Anyways, that's it. That's all I got. Talk to y'all later.
I ain't gonna do this anymore. That's all from me. Goodbye.